Chateau De Autiste. Isn't that neat?
There is the famous quote by Oswald Spengler, Christianity is the grandmother of Bolshevism. But what I want to talk about today is something that is less known, which is that normal faggotry is the twin brother of communism. In fact, it might be said that communism is merely a branch of the tree of normal faggotry. And, even they're identical. So how do we reach this conclusion that communism and normal faggotry are really one and the same organism? Well, if you read Marxist theory, you may already see a connection, which is that we have Marxist theory of social alienation. You'll see this quite a bit, where Marxists will talk about social alienation as a sort of sickness. And of course, communism, it's the very name, it's communal. The individual is totally subordinated to the group. And what is the group? The group is always the normal fag collective entity. So in its very name and essence and idea, we can already see how communism is a religion of the herd, of the normal fag. But what are some other ways in which we may be able to think of communism as an expression of normal faggotry? Well, there's a hint in the other slogan, which is "Workers of the World Unite." Now, if you read Marxist theory, you see that it rests on the labor theory of value, it's called in economics. Now, while there have been many Austrian and neoliberal critiques of this labor theory of value, I would offer an Autistian critique. Of course, this is sort of the apex of the normal faggotry mentality, where work is idolized in itself. Something any good philosopher neat obviously sees through. Now, this is hard communism. However, there is also light communism, or democracy, or liberalism. And all this is an outgrowth of normal faggotry. Leftism is really the political embodiment of normal faggotry. And we can see this with, say, the idea of the Chad, who is the alpha male, the sort of idealized normal fag. He gets all the females. You'll note that this ideal necessarily implies a normalization and liberation of sexuality within society. Hence, the normal faggotry culture is inherently liberal, all the more so because it uses virginity as an insult. So although the United States is nominally Christian, the normal fags have now been liberated from the yoke of Autistian supremacy, and so the sexual revolution broke out. And that necessarily implies things such as birth control, abortion, etc. But it goes even further. You might say, well, these normal faggotries, these are normal things necessarily, so degenerate aberrations have nothing to do with this. But you'd be wrong if you were to say that, because the degenerate leftist movements are merely the projection of the normal fag's hedonism. So he feels empathy for the aberrations, who are also hedonistic. And so he can sense the similarity, and he feels a camaraderie with these aberrations on the psychic level. Conclusion: Autistian revolt is the only weapon against radical communism and leftism. And normal faggotry is the grandmother of Bolshevism.
Okay.